Thank you for Patreon now for donating to the Patreon.
Hey guys, it's Van Dazzle back with another Card Fight Vanguard deck profiles. If you guys enjoyed them, to like, comment, subscribe, and let's get them started, shall we? So this time we're covering prisms / duos. Yes, Bushy made duos a thing. I don't know why, when even though they're duos, they are just as support for prisms as prisms are support for them, which is the scary part about all of it. And yeah, it's a whole lot of thing. I don't play this deck. I play Bermudas, but I can tell that this deck is a bit too good, especially in premium. So let's go ahead and get this started, shall we? And then we see how long it takes to get on the ban list. My guess is 5 weeks, or 1 tournament, or 2 tournaments, technically speaking. First up, our starter will be Pure Gifter Aliche, grade 0 boost, 10k shield, 6k base, auto when wrote upon, draw a card, then if your opponent's vanguard's a grade 1 or greater, get a quick show ticket to your hand. Basically, get a guaranteed draw and possible quick show if you win second. Standard starter ability, nothing special about it. I wish this was a duo or prism card because we all know how much I like using archetypal starters, but we do not have one, so she just gets to be our starter for today. Now we have our trigger lineup, which you do not have to follow. Frankly, if you just want to beat the shit out of your opponent with 12 crit, I do not see a reason not to. I just do the draw PG because I just want the draw PG. So, for draw PG of Glitter Baby Lene, grade 0 boost 0, showed 5k power, continues to down 4,000 in your deck, and auto guard was put on there, discard a card, one of you is copy it to the battle. Standard PG, nothing special about it. You want to run the crit sentinel for 12 crits? Do it, but I prefer the draw just to get hand cards, because you never know when you're going to need those hand cards. And then we have 8 crits in Direct Shooter Pella and Direct Sign Persh. My opponent hates this, or sorry, my friend hates this, because just like Epona, whenever I play Royals, is every time I sack a crit, it's this one, and it's always when he doesn't need me to sack a crit. But in fairness, he does the same to me with Blouse, Front Triggers, and specifically Cannonball. So, yeah. I think we can call it even. So 8 crit on this line, and then 4 heals in a Jito Cheer Pepe Layla. We all know why I don't run Heal Guardians. If you don't know why I don't run Heal Guardians, go watch the Locks video so you can get an actual explanation of it, because the only explanation you're getting out of me now is that they are detrimental to my playstyle. Once more, you want a more deeper description of that, go watch my Locks video, because I'm not going to describe more than I need to when I spent like 5 minutes describing it there. So yeah, 4 heals, and that's our trigger lineup. On to grade 1s. 3 of Mermaid Idol Sedna. Here's my thing. I was gonna cut her, but then I remembered one important thing. I would never cut Sedna. Sedna is one of my favorite cards in Bermuda Triangle, and same with Aqua, and I'm not gonna cut either of them unless it's the last option. So, grade 1 boost, 10k shield, 8k base, continues van or rear during your turn. If you have another unit of the same column as it, it gets plus 5. So, easy 13. Place it behind Van. This will always be a 13k base. It works on Van, so it's a 13k base. And not to mention, this is Bermuda's. Just start playing shit in the same column. Boom, you've instantly, 1, played the deck, and 2, this is a 13k base. And then auto Van or rear, when placed like a top 5 up to 1 grade 3 from among them, put it to hand and shuffle your deck. If you put a card, you gotta discard 1. Okay, one of the cards in our deck's a grade 4. That's not important, because one of our grade 3s is broken, and the other one is just at, well, not just as, but like slightly lower broken. So, having Sedna is a really good card. I think it's nice. Run it at 3 of, because there's no reason not to run it. She's nice for early game rushes. My friend knows that, because he knows how much I abuse the shit out of 4 Sednas in hand, because I had to do it once, and I regret nothing from that decision. So 3 of Sedna. 4 of Primage Image Clear. So, we run 2 different ride line grade 1s. Here's why. One of them is inherently better than the other, in my opinion, but it's not. Well, one, they both support their decks in different ways, and since it is just Prism and Duo shoved in together, obviously you've got to run both of them, especially because we don't have many of either, but also the fact that both of their skills still work respectively on Vanguard, so doesn't matter which one you ride, so it's not the end of the world. So Prism Image Clear, grade 1 boost, 10k shield, 8k base, auto Van when plays like a top 7, reveal to 1 grade 2 or greater Prism card, add it to hand and shuffle your deck. So you can search for the grade 2, or you can search for the grade 3, or you can search for the grade 4 Prism. So that's really nice. Free search of any of the Prisms. And auto rare when placed from Bind Zone, the main thing you're going to use it for. Bind a card with Prism in its card name from your drop zone, draw a card, and this unit gets plus 10 for the turn. So easy 18. If you don't know what prisms do, they focus on binding. Duos also focus on binding. So nice little combo there together. And before we move on to the next grade 1, I want to let it be clear. We only run 3 grade 1s. All of them have Vanguard skills. No matter which grade 1 you have to ride, there's no reason not to have a Vanguard skill in any of them. Like, that's one of my things that I like about certain decks in Vanguards, that you can just run all grade 1s, or like all units that have good Vanguard skills, but still have skills on rear guards, so that like there's no bad things if you have to ride one over the other, and you're not wasting a unit because it only has a Vanguard skill. So yeah, 4 copies of Clear, because she helps out when she's placed on rear, and she's also an alternate ride line target. I mean, obviously Sedna here is unfortunately the worst one you have to ride on Van, but she still does something if you want to keep the Prism and Duo cards in your hand. Then we have 4 copies of Duo Pretty Horn Ural, grade 1 boost, 10k shield, 8k base. If you don't remember her, I think this may have been her, because I think I encountered her in Zero recently. Soul Blast 2 draw 1? Is that her? Is that Ural? Is she the Soul Dust 2 draw 1 from Limit Break, I think? She might be. Or she might be the counter. No, it's definitely that one. It's definitely the draw 1. So grade 1 boost, 10k shield, 8k base. Auto when it's placed on Van, search after 1 normal unit, bind to shuffle your deck. Okay, straight up, that is already good. Like, this is why Ural, in my opinion, is the better grade 1. Because, well, yes, this searches. Both decks focus on binding units and getting stuff out of bind zone. This, just by being placed on Van, get you one of your main playmakers. This thing sets up from turn 1. Like, this is your main grade 1 right here that you want to ride on Van. If you can't ride and you got to ride this, not the end of the world. But if it's a choice between all 3 of these and this is in your hand, fucking ride it. Don't even question that decision. Auto, when it's placed on rear from hand, choose up to 1 normal unit from your drop, put it to bottom. If you put a card to the bottom that has the same card name as a card in your bind zone, so I'll bust 1, draw a card. So cool. And to replace herself, since it was placed from hand, get your units back to deck so you're not going to deck yourself out, and a possibility to, just to get a draw. So all around, Euro's pretty good. I like her. Good card. 4 up, because also just a free unit back, so it's really nice. Because you don't have to put it from something in bind zone. I mean, if you put something that has the same name in bind zone, then you can draw 1, but you don't have to put something with the same name, so just free unit back. Then we have our grade 2s. Same with the grade 1s. All of the grade 2s here have a Vanguard skill. So top idle Aqua, just like Sedna, could not cut her. Grade 2 intercept 5k shield, 10k base, continuous Van or rear during your turn if you have another in the same column as it gets +5. Here's what I do when I play any Bermuda deck that has both Sedna and Aqua in it. Get to grade 2 turn. Call Aqua and Sedna to the same column. That's a 28k column. 20k drop without triggers to guard this. Fuck you. Anyone that has ever played me whenever I play Bermuda and I've gone first knows that I should not, knows just to, hold up cards to guard, because I will pick Force 2 the second I get to grade 3. I'm calling Sedna and Aqua to the same column. 28k double critical to face while you're at 10k or 9k base. That's fine. And I rush when I play Bermuda. Bermuda is one of the few decks I will always rush with. So you're probably 3 damage right now, and that's only 1 attack right there. And if I'm playing Refarde, fuck you. Just fun. 3 of Aqua. Just 3 of Aqua. Then we have 4 copies of, oh wait, I didn't even describe Aqua's other skill, sorry. Auto Van Rear, when placed, return up to one of your other normal units to your hand. If you return a card, draw a card, discard 1. And this ability can only be used once per turn by the card of the same name. So, the reason why it's like that, and I am the reason why it's like that, I mean, obviously they didn't ban it because of me, but I definitely would have encountered it at some point, is this. Call Sedna. Look at top 5. It doesn't have to be Sedna, but specifically, but because she's just only on place, let's say Sedna. Sedna, top 5 search. Get a grade 3. Cool. Discard grade 3 because you don't need it. Send the rest back to deck and shuffle. Call Aqua. Skill of Aqua. Bounce Sedna. Discard 1. Call Sedna again. Skill of Sedna. Look at top 5. Get a card. Cool. Discard that card since you just for deck thinning, shuffle the deck. Call a second Aqua. Use Aqua's skill again. Bounce Sedna. Discard, etc. You get the point. That's why this is a once per turn. Why it's a hard once per turn. You ain't using this more than once. Because, yeah, you could just get so much searches, so much deck thinning out. Oh, right, yeah, and you get the draw, so you're technically just getting 2 pluses and you're only losing 1 card. So, yeah. Aqua's good. Trust me, it may sound dumb that it's not like that, and other Bermuda players that say that's not dumb, you have clearly never seen me play Bermudas. Clearly. I tell you what, if she was not a hard once per turn, let's just say I probably would not be allowed to play Bermudas. Because these 2 alone are stupid. Now we move on to the other grade 2s, the ones that are your main ride targets. So 4 of Prism Image Rosa, grade 2 intercept, 5k shield, 10k base. Auto Van rear, when placed, counterblast 1, look at top side, reveal up to 2 prisms with in their card names. Put one to hand, bind the other, and shuffle your deck. So really cool. You know, she can add herself, she can add the grade 1, she can add the grade 3, she can add the grade 4. She can reveal up to 2 of them. One of them's going to hand, one of them's going to bind zone. Perfect. You're setting up for your grade 3 turn, where you're going to boost it out of your opponent through multi-attack, and you're setting up for you know, just next turn, because maybe you might not have a grade 3 in hand, you see a grade 3 from it. I remember the first time I played Prisms, I didn't draw the grade 3. I literally didn't have a grade 2 in my hand. I had her skill paid off, I saw this, I rode this, and then I got the grade 3. That's the first time I ever played Prisms, and that just happened, and I got so fucking lucky, because my hand was just full of grade 1s and triggers. So, yeah, that's first skill. And then auto rear, when placed from binds on all your front moves, you get plus 10 for the turn. That's not once per turn, and that's an auto ability. So, you call 2 at the same time, plus 20 to front row. Yeah, this deck, it abuses stuff, especially because it just has all your units with Prism in their card names in the front row. So, while yes, if you have a unit in your front row that doesn't have Prism in its card name, this doesn't require your Vanguard to have Prism in its card name, which means this unit will still get the plus 10 even if your Vanguard is one of the duo cards. Again, good card, 4. Also, she works on rear, the searching part. That's the other important part about her. She's just that good, 4 of. Then we have 4 copies of Duo Mini Heart Rone, frankly, my favorite, and the reason why this thing is the better out of the 2 ride line setuppers. So, Rone is a grade 2 intercept, 5k shield, 10k base, auto rear. When attacks for each card you bind, so she gets plus 3. Okay, cool. They ripped that straight from gold. I mean, not from gold, it's from gears. But that's not the reason why she's good. Frankly, I don't think Prisms can get that much bind. Maybe they can, because I've never seen competitive Prism, but I don't think they could get more than, like, 5 cards bound. Which, granted, plus 15 is still good, but, like, you know what I mean. I expect more when you have a skill that does that and there's such a thing as Gear Chronicle that exists. But then its other skill, the reason why I think it's good, act, van, or rear once per turn. If you have a Vanguard of Duo in its card name, counterblast 1, choose a card from your bind zone, search deck for a copy of it, add it to hand, and shuffle. So if you don't see why this is good, let's just get a random starting hand. Fuck it. Let's just say this is your starting hand at 1, this is your starting hand at 1, this is in your starting hand at 2, because fuck it, and this is your starting hand at 1. Okay, you see your plays, you draw for turn, let's just say it's a fucking draw trigger, ride Euro, skill of Euro, buy one of your grade 3s, because clearly you don't have a grade 3 in hand. Bind a grade 3, cool, make it to your next turn, ride Rone, skill of Rone, pay a counterblast, get that grade 3 to hand. Fix G-assisting in a stupid way, because neither of these two... Well, yeah, the main grade 3s do need counterblast, but, like, when you have a way to fix G-assisting, and not to mention, you just search your toolbox for, your entire deck for anything that entered your bind zone, and this just gets you a free bind. Yeah, 4 of Rone, I know my opinions tend to differ from the mass public, but, I think me and the mass public can agree for once that Rone is a good 4 of, and that combo is BS. So, yeah, 4 of Rone, 4 of this. If both of them end up in your hand, ride them on Van. That's all I have to say. Also, that works on rear for some reason. I don't know why it's allowed to, but sure. On to grade 3s. 3, I didn't know how I wanted to do this lineup, but because it's meant to be a Duo and Prism deck, I just chose to put both the Prism and the Duo grade 3 at 3, if I remember correctly. Oh, no, I'm fucking wrong. I put the Prism grade 3 at 3, and then I put the Duo cards at 4 each. So, Prism Image Vert, the one I didn't understand. Grade 3 to Drive Force Gift, 13k base. Act Vanguard once per turn. Soul Blast 1, bind a Prism card on this card name from your rear or drop zone. If you bound a card, this unit gets +1 drive for the turn. So, you can bind it from anywhere. Guard with a Prism during your turn, during your opponent's turn. Skill of Vert, Soul Blast 1, bind that Prism, and you get a drive. Or just Soul Blast a Prism because you Soul Blast first and then bind the Prism you just put to drop. So already she's good, because that's just a free triple drive, essentially. That's the most consistent way I've ever seen to get triple drive in this game. And then Auto Van, when it attacks, counterblast 1 and return all your front row rear guards to your hand. Cool, so we just bounce the front row. And call up to 1 Prism in its card name from your bind zone to rear. And if your opponent's Vanguards are grade 3 or greater, you can call up to a total of 2 different Prisms instead of 1. Yeah, that's why it specifies 2 different, because otherwise you could just call 2 roses and say plus 30 to front row. Vanguard has a force 2 on it. Vanguard swinging for triple drive, double critical, 33k, and the 2 rear guards on their own very 30s on first grade 3 turn. I mean, not first grade 3 turn, second grade 3 turn, which most likely means one of them also has a force 2 on it. You know, all that stupid shit. So, like, Vert's good, but this one still gets power, because she can just put a prism in your drop zone to your bind zone, but, you know, she doesn't give it to everyone. So this is swinging for 28, this is swinging for 20, this is swinging for 23 at least. So, yeah, consistent triple drive, 5 attacks if your opponent's at grade 3, stupid ability. It's only ever outdone because the duo card is that good, and then I just chose to make the Prism and Duo card the main card in this deck just to show unity, but I tell you what, that card deserves to be at a 3 and this deserves to be at a 4, but 3 of Prism Image Vert, because fuck it. Then we have 4 copies of Duo Temptation Riette. This thing is dumb, especially when you use it with the premium strat that we just got. You know, the one that allows you to ride? Yeah, this gets stupid. So, grade 3 Twin Drive Force Gift, 13k base, act Vanguard once per turn, bind a rear guard, draw a card. So, bind of any rear guard, regardless of name, regardless of type, fuck it, regardless of clan, if you found a way to clan mix again, and you get a draw. That doesn't sound like something you should be complaining about, but then when there's Prism, who gain benefits from just being in the bind zone, and this is a card that you have, already really good. Hell, shove in a bunch of on places with this, and you can just make a really good Duo Temptation on place, and then just abuse it with Rone. And then the reason why it's good, Auto Van once per turn. At the end of the battle it attacked. Counterboss 1, discard 1, stand this unit, lose a drive for the turn. Okay, so it just has Overlord's ability from D, except doesn't have to hit. And then choose up to 1 card from your bind zone with the same name as the discarded card, call it to rear. Okay, so you get 2 more attacks, and if your opponent's Vanguard is a grade 3 or greater, you get a force gift on Van. So they stole from Overlord in both D and V. D and V Rebirth. Because the Rebirth's the only one I can think of off the top of my head that gets a force gift during the battle phase. Or, like, at least on attack would restand. If you're wondering why this is good with the Premium Stride superior rides. So you swing with the Premium Stride, ride this, get a force gift on Van, swing with Van, skill, counterboss 1, discard 1, stand it, call a card in your bind zone, attack with the card in your bind zone, and this gets a force gift, by the way, and then attack with this one with 2 force gifts on it. Deadly BS. Stupid card. I don't know what to say outside of 4 of and broken shit. Then we have our final card, which I chose to put at 4. Not because I don't think Vert and Direct deserve to be at equal numbers. It's because since both decks require that, like, one of their main Vanguards is on. Like, for example, okay, never mind, Euro doesn't require Duo Vanguard, but Rone definitely does for her bullshit search ability. So, obviously, you want to have something that acts as both of those. So that's where Legendary Prism Duo Nectaria comes in, which is why she's at 4. Also because nice 14k base. So, grade 4 Twin Drive Force get 14k base, slightly harder numbers to hit. Act hand, bind it, search it to 1 normal unit, bind it, shuffle your deck, name once per turn. So, your entire deck is your toolbox, and this one now has 3 targets. 1 from this, and 2 from this. Cool. And continues Vanguard or Rearguard during your turn. If you have a card with the same card name as this unit in your bind zone, it gets plus 10, and if it was on Van, an extra card, an extra drive. So during your turn, if you have a copy of this in bind zone, this is a grade 4 with triple drive, 24k base, and a double critical. This thing slaps for numbers, and you can put it on rear just to have 24k base. You won't get the extra crit or drive, but it's a 24k base. So take that as you will. 4 of Nectaria because it literally acts as the sole combination toolbox for both Prisms and Duos. Allows for Rode to do stupid searches and things that only Bushy can imagine, and I greatly question why Bushy allowed this to exist, and especially this to exist. So, you know, fuck it. Bushy thinks that they're the smart ones. I believe them. 4 of Nectaria. Now we move on to our force gifts. First up, we have Force 1 and Force 2. So, I don't know why I said first up. There's only 2 of them to begin with. So, they're similar in the sense that when they're required, they can be put on van and rear. Differences, and they can also be put on the same circle multiple times. Differences, though, is that Force 1 stacks, Force 2 does not. Force 1, when acquired, goes on van and rear, like I said, and the unit on that circle gets plus 10 during your turn per copy. So, if you have 1, plus 10. If you have 3, plus 30. If you have 5, plus 50. If you have 10 plus 100,000, but what, I don't think you're gonna get 10. I mean, I hit 13 in Astropotes via pure force gift spamming, but you know, that was just pure luck and the fact that my opponent just stopped trying. Then there's Force 2, which is the original critical unit on that circle becomes 2. So these all now have base criticals of 2. This one's restanding. This one has triple drive, and this one now has 3 critical, quad, triple drive, and 24k base, and your opponent PGing this the second they get the chance. If it said the critical gets plus 1, then it would be stackable unless it said the original critical got plus 1. So yeah, if you want to, this is one of the decks where I think it's the most balanced with gifts, where you can pick either one and it will still go good. If you're trying to kill your opponent quickly and you do not plan on riding to Riette at any time, get Force 2. By the way, once you get to Nectaria, because she's a grade 4, you're stuck on it. So make sure that when you do this, you are fine with staying on it. But yeah, Force 2, if you're not going to ride to Riette, because Riette is the one that's going to need the numbers, cool. Just spam Force 2, and you're going to hit numbers with your Prism rear guards and Nectaria when you eventually get her. If you plan on riding to Riette, because maybe you see her in your opening hand, get Force 1, stack a bunch of numbers to Van, and make it your PG target on every turn, and they'll eventually run out of PGs. So, and pan cards to guard the other things with. And I put 7 here because she can create gifts. Not like you ever get to 7 because your opponent will probably die long before that. I give it 3 or 4 that you will make before they die. If you hit 5, good for you. If you actually hit 7, well, your opponent deserves a pat on the back for making it that far. So, and then we have our Quick Show, which is one of your attacks plus 5k for the battle. Typical discard card. Unfortunately, you can't really use it for Ret because, you know, there is no way you're going to get a Quick Show on Bind Zone. And even if you did, you wouldn't be able to call it. And yeah, so I guess the only way you're using it for discard fodder is Aqua or the PG or Sedna, because you know Sedna and Aqua are so good. And that's it for the deck. I hope you guys enjoyed. All around, this deck is dumb. Dumb in like not bad, but like dumb in a good way, I guess. It's annoying is what I'm gonna say it is. One grade 3 gives you triple drive. I mean, both of them 10. Sorry, no, all of them get triple drive in some way, shape, or form. One of them gets 5 attacks. One of them gets 4, but like with a restanding Vanguard, which is more dangerous in a triple drive sense than the other triple drives. And then one of them can just have a base crit of 2, because why the hell not, and acts as your main toolbox searcher. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this. If anyone you know plays Prisms, I'm sorry for you, especially if you struggle against them, because I think they're meta, based off of like the very few things I heard from meta discussions, despite the fact I don't care for those. So yeah, if you play against Prisms, I wish you luck. Pat on the back. I'm sorry for your loss. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, join the Discord, follow Twitch, and I'll see you all in the next one. Don't forget to stand up your Vanguards.